Can you tell us how you first got involved in TT0?
Basically, about 3 years ago, Paul Phillips spoke to me. He said, "You're interested in riding a TT0 bike?" And I said, "Yeah, definitely." So, lucky enough, he got me on the Motoczysz bike, and we met up there, and it was, when I seen that bike for the first time, I thought, "This is a proper thing," So it definitely excited me.
You obviously had a good year last year on the bike. Did you come here with expectations of taking the win this year?
You never know, especially around the Isle of Man TT. Even that last lap, when I was going out on it, till you get over that line, it's frightening really, because you use so much power up in certain places, and I didn't want Mark to catch me up and then tow me around and save power. So I went hard from the word go, and basically just got my head down, and then had to trickle over the mountain. And for a bike racer to go slow over the mountain, you just have to shut the throttle and just hold your hand there, and you need the other hand to hold you so you don't accelerate, because you just wouldn't have got back. And we did 104 mile an hour, which is fantastic for Motoczysz and Segway and Wayne Mitchell and all the sponsors. It was fantastic.
Obviously last year a little frustrating, just missed out on that 100 mile an hour lap. This year you've done it. How does it feel to have achieved that, what is a record-breaking lap for these bikes?
Yeah, I was dying to get that over 100 mile an hour lap. It was so difficult, to get everything right, get pinned on the corners, and the conditions weren't perfect going through Glen Ellen. And at the end of the day, it paid off.
You might have a little bit more satisfaction this year, because one of the people on the podium with you was John McGuinness, who last year perhaps wasn't as supportive as he could have been of your endeavours in TT0. This year he was there with you and you beat him. How did that feel?
Me and John have always had a bit of a laugh. We started racing together. It's always been awesome, and he was laughing at me, when I was on the grid, saying, "Well, what are you riding that air dryer for?" and all that. And I think it surprised him. He watched coming over the start and finish me on the Segway bike, and he said, "I want one of those next year." And even we're speaking the motorhome after, he enjoyed it thoroughly. It's going to be the future. It's going to take years. Obviously, we know that, but I remember my dad doing 100 mile an hour lap years ago in the 70s, and and now we're just trying to do 100 mile an hour on an electric bike now, and it'll all evolve, and it'll end up being up to 130 one day.
That's something that people have said about it, that it's still small grids, but we are seeing bigger names, more money coming into it. The grid this year was a little on the small side, but the quality of the people who were there was very high. Do you genuinely believe that there is a future for this class at the TT, in road racing and in motorcycle racing in general?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Like you say, John McGuinness involved in it. It's phenomenal, and still John's so fast, and I think their team's going to go away next year, and they're going to build a few bikes, and obviously Motoczysz, I think they're going to do the same. So there's going to be a few more bikes out there as well. If they can get some top riders on them, it's going to be a close race, and it's a tactical race as well at the moment.
For the spectators and some of the other riders who haven't had the opportunity to try out a TT0 bike, it's very difficult for them to understand what it actually feels like. Can you give us some form of comparison to a standard road bike, what the feel is?
A lot of people ask me that, and I remember standing there waiting to go out on for the race, for the superbike race, and they were all speaking to me about it, and I did 156 down Sulby Straight. And one of the blokes, that's quicker than my 600, so it just shows you, I think if we hold it flat out, we could 175, 180 mile an hour we're geared. Obviously we only can be limited to what power in the race, I have to be careful down there, but they accelerate fast, and my bike handled beautifully, it was fantastic. I think next year when they come back, it could be 110, if it's dry. It's just going to keep going up and up. It's just sustaining that power and the battery speed, and the bike is phenomenal.
In addition to the honour of the win and becoming first person to lap the course at 100 miles an hour on one of these bikes, you also received from the Isle of Man government a cheque for £10,000. Can you tell us what you're going to be doing with that?
Well, Yeah, that is a bit of a story. John McGuinness, I'm glad I beat him on that because he told me he was going to put it all into like pound coins and wheel it past my my caravan. So I'm glad to, when I got down there, I put the check across his window in his motorhome just to remind him. So yeah, you know, it's I'm going to split off it with Mark because before the race we said, you know, basically it was between us three really. We had, you know, strung bikes, and me and Mark, you know, Mark was behind me on the road. He was going to catch me. I thought real quick anyway, but I think he had a few problems. So yeah, we're going to do half really, and you know, it's fair enough because I could have broke down or he could have broke down, so we're going to share it.
That's great, thank you very much indeed. Michael Rutter, the first man to lap the mountain course on an electric bike at over 100 miles an hour average speed.
Thank you. Cheers.